Welcome back to our car EV shopping extravaganza, where we're trying to find our next electric car.
So many vehicles that we have on our list, but we're having a lot of fun getting an opportunity to drive multiple different electric vehicles and really making sure that we're finding the right ones for us. Well, I guess I should say the right one for us. Yes. As much as I love plural electric vehicals, we're going to go with one.
We're going to go with
one. So this one on our list, or this one for this video, is the Polestar 2, and we will also be touching on its sister vehicle, the XC40 Recharge and the C40 Recharge.
Yeah.
So, do you want to give a brief overview of what our experience has been like with the Polestar, and like how we got a chance to experience it?
Yeah. So, funny enough, we were actually able to rent a Polestar 2 while we were in LA back in December, which was awesome. So the Polestar 2 that we actually rented was a fully loaded Polestar 2. It had all the packages, the performance package, the pilot package, and the plus package. And it was in a absolutely beautiful moon metallic color. That was our favorite color. It was so nice.
It was like a titanium sand. It had like a green hue to it in certain lights. It was beautiful, especially in California sunsets. Like, it was stunning.
It was stunning. Yeah. So that's kind of where our main experience came from. Is we had it for 4 days. I also got to test drive the base model of the Polestar 2 in Seattle for the Seattle Auto Show when we were out in Seattle for a little bit. And Brandon did not because he was working that, but I got to test drive. And I test drove that. It had no packages. It was essentially just the base model. So it had the 19-inch wheels versus the 21s on the performance that we drove. So we're primarily going to base this video off of a fully loaded Polestar 2 because that's the only experience that we've had so far.
Yeah. So the first aspect of the Polestar 2, especially one that's fully loaded that we loved, is the Sportback Styling. What's really cool about the Polestar is that it is a Sportback design. From the outside, it looks like a sedan, and to be honest, it actually looks like a race sedan. So in a way, it almost looks like a mix of a sedan and a SUV. And I know that the proper term is called crossover, but it looks like it's a sedan with a hatchback, which is really, really cool. And the fact that they're taking a lot of the design language from Volvo and really blending it into the separate brand that's called Polestar just really works well for the Polestar 2. It's a stunning vehicle. You have the Thor hammer inspired daytime running lights up front, and then you have a beautiful light bar in the back that just really accents the trail or the tailgate really, really well.
It looks so good at night. When you're unlocking and unlocking the car, it does a little dance, and it just looks so good.
Yes.
But you have to get the pilot and plus packages in order to get that light dance, which is kind of annoying. Yeah. That's, with Polestar, you kind of have to add packages if you want certain features.
Yeah, so. and that we'll get to that in the con section. But overall, with it being that Sportback design, it goes back to the fact that we are looking for a vehicle that has practicality, and it does have a very big trunk, especially with the seats folded. It does have underfloor storage. In fact, an option, you can get a little grocery bag holder as well that flips up and little hooks you can put grocery bags on.
It's clever.
It's clever.
Actually really clever.
Yeah, it's very clever. And then it does have a small frunk, which is perfect for charging cables, but that's really about it. But the thing is that the frunk in the Polestar 2, as well as the XC40 Recharge and C40 Recharge, are bigger than what we're seeing in the Kia EV6 as well as the Ioniq 5, but not nearly as big as the Mustang Mach-E or the Tesla Model Y or Model 3. But overall, I would say storage is pretty abundant in the inside. Lots of door pockets. Has a very unique cup holder situation.
Yeah, that one was kind of like hit or miss, I think, for us. In the center console there, you have one main cup holder, which was perfect for the driver or the passenger. However, this is kind of a weird thing, and I don't really know if it's a pro or a con. I can't really decide. The second cup holder in the Polestar 2, you have to lift the console lid, and then it's in there. I don't know why they did that.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
Yeah, I have no idea why they did that.
But in the XC40, it's a normal 2-cup holder setup.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why they did that either. I don't know if they're trying to separate the two, different platforms in that aspect, but I'm not exactly sure there.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. Like, there's still plenty of storage for, our water bottles and whatnot, but it was just kind of a little weird storage thing in the center console. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was strange.
Yeah, it was strange. It was very strange. But overall, the storage is very abundant in the Polestar 2, and for the size of the vehicle, I think it would be capable of getting us cross-country with all of our luggage, as well as dog food and all that stuff.
All that stuff.
So definitely very capable.
Definitely.
And now moving to pros in terms of technology, it does have a Google-based infotainment system. I believe the touchscreen itself is 12 inches. And then you have a center gauge cluster that's also fully digital, which personally, in my opinion, out of all the vehicles that we've driven, I like having a gauge cluster right in front of me instead of what we're looking at with the Model Y and Model 3. But the Google infotainment system is really nice. It does offer an app store that you can download different applications from the Google Play Store. You have embedded Google Maps, which offers routing for finding charging stations throughout trips, and it just works really well.
It was, it's Android based, obviously. So unlike a lot of other infotainments that we're experiencing in other cars, it was really snappy. It kind of reminded me of like the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y. It's very, very snappy. It was very easy to respond. I loved the instrument cluster because you could have the entire map view in front of you, and that was, to me, that was like, okay, this is awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. The tech on board is really great, and then if you go for the Pilot package, there's a lot of great safety features with that. It kind of has like an autopilot-ish setup for the highway that we tested as well. But there's actually a lot of great onboard technology with the car.
Yeah. It
really was.
And that gets into some of the cons in a moment when it comes to some of like the pilot or some of like the semi-autonomous safety features that it offers. But we'll get to that in a second. The one pro that the Polestar has and that the Volvos have as well is that Volvo is really known for their build quality. The fit and finish of the materials, as well as just the build quality. There was no panel gaps. The vehicle felt super solid while we were driving it. Very insulated on the inside. The nice thing is that the standard seats is that you can get it with cloth, but you can also get it with a type of material that are made out of what wetsuits are made out of. What's that material called?
They call it Weave Tech.
Weave Tech, and the one that we
really cool.
Yeah, the one that we drove had the Weave Tech fabric on the seats, and it just felt really comfortable. You can tell that they're easy to wipe down. And then if you are looking to get animal leather, it does offer Napa leather as an option as well.
You have to pay a lot of extra for it, but you can get it.
Yes. So that is one benefit, is that if you don't want to get animal products, you can have a fully vegan interior, and you can get something that's very similar, but it's made out of that wetsuit material.
Yeah.
So I was pretty impressed with the materials and the build quality.
It was really good. Really, really good.
But that does bring us into the cons. The Polestar 2 is not a perfect vehicle. As with all of these vehicles that we're driving, they do have some cons. So what's our first con?
So the first con, if you go for the performance package, which gives you the stiffer suspension with the Öhlins, the bigger Brembo brakes, and the 21-inch wheels, the setup that we had for the rental was definitely more on the performance-oriented side of the suspension. You can actually change it manually, which was actually really cool for if you want to be more engaging in your driving, more spirited driving, or you want to be more comfortable, you can actually change the adjustment of the suspension. However, our rental was maxed out to the stiffest it could possibly be. And it was very stiff. I mean, California roads, at least on the 101 and on the 5, were kind of similar to what some of the roads are here in Ohio in terms of just the concrete and the bumps and the potholes. We felt everything. in the Polestar.
Yeah.
If there was a smooth road, though, it was really comfortable. So, for us, we would definitely not get the performance package at all. We would not even consider that one.
No, it was too much. I think with it riding on 20-inch rims, and just having the suspension as tight as it was almost nauseating at points. And that actually brings another con that I want to mention, is that the fact that the suspension is manually adjusted versus automatically, that you have to lift the vehicle, you have to then get into the suspension. I think you need a special tool to also...
That it comes with.
Yeah, that it comes with. But the fact that you have to do all this just to adjust the suspension, where a lot of vehicles, not any in our price range that we're looking at, can manually or automatically change through like a touchscreen, is a con. But yes, the suspension was a lot. It was rough. I would almost say it was kind of on par with what we experienced with the Model Y.
It was.
Yeah.
But what was nice is, I will say, when we took it through Angela's Crest, it is made for performance-spirited driving. That suspension was amazing for that. So if you're really into that, definitely recommend the performance package. But I will say, just for our sake, here in Ohio, and then on the West Coast, out in Oregon or Washington, we're gonna forgo. If we get the car, we're gonna forgo the performance package.
Yes, absolutely.
But that kind of goes in line with our other con, is not only our experience on the highway with the suspension, but also the ProPilot. So we did try out the semi-autonomous features on the car. Our ID4 has something similar called Travel Assist, or also the Model 3 and Model Y has Autopilot. We did find the lane centering was all over the place. It would sway you left to right, right. It could not keep you center. And that's something that kind of really bothered us. Our ID4 does perfect at that. Tesla Autopilot does amazing at that as well. But just the ProPilot, it was just all over the place. It couldn't keep us in our lane. It just couldn't keep it centered.
Yeah, and Alex was with us on that trip, Alex Cibala, and he drives a Model 3, and he's been going on 2 years of ownership, and he has a lot of experience with Autopilot and the enhanced Autopilot package that he has on his Model 3. And even he mentioned that he could feel the car ping-ponging back and forth between the lanes. And it actually got to the point where when I drove the vehicle, I just didn't have it on. I like the adaptive cruise, the fact, especially in California traffic, it kept me away from the car in front of me, because driving in California was just a bit much for me. So to rely on that feature, the adaptive cruise was nice, but the lane keep assist was just a bit weak in terms of what it should be capable of. But overall, the blind spot warning worked great. The adaptive cruise worked great, and it did what it needed to do. Is how I would kind of explain that. Yeah.
I'll say another thing that we noticed too is they do have a 360 setup on the Polestar 2 if you get the Pilot package. So you have to get the Pilot package, get 360 camera. It's more of a fisheye lens, which really throws you off, actually. It's nice, but it really throws you off.
What's cool about that system, though, is that it does automatically turn on by itself when you get too close to an object, or if an object gets too close to you.
That's nice. Which
I thought was really cool. When we were on the highway, a car got too close to us from the back, and the system turned on immediately, and we could see the car, and as well as like a 360 bird's eye view of what the vehicle looks like and what's happening around the car. So I would say I was pretty impressed with that. And then the other thing that is optional, which package does the Pixel headlights come?
That's in the Pilot package.
The Pilot package. Yeah. So the vehicle has, the Polestar 2 has a optional Pixel headlight, and what that means is that each individual headlight has, I believe, over 80 individual LED pixels. And so far right now in the United States, it is not legal for matrix headlights to exist in vehicles, or at least to be active in vehicles. And just this actually recently, they announced that they are going to allow that starting very soon in the United States.
Which is awesome.
Which is awesome. But what's really cool about that Pixel headlight design is that if you have a vehicle that's oncoming, the lights can actually dim and brighten accordingly, as well as going around corners and adjust the brightness based on what's around you, which is super cool. And the lights were so bright. I mean, like when we had the brights on, it was literally like a wall of light, like daylight in the mountains of Los Angeles. which was really, really nice. That's one area I think would be a big pro. But with all these technology and the quality that you're getting in the Polestar, it does come with a steep price point. So the Polestar 2 front-wheel drive starts at about $44,000 before the federal tax credit, which is a fantastic deal. And then the all-wheel drive version starts at, I believe, $49,000. So it's a little bit more for the all-wheel drive. But the thing is that we're noticing as we're shopping, a lot of the Polestars that we're seeing with the packages we're looking for are starting to creep towards that $60,000 mark. And there is a reason for that. There is a tariff of imported goods, and right now the Polestar 2 is built in China. Polestar is hoping to build a factory here in the United States, so we should hopefully see prices drop. But it does bring it up to that price point of around $60,000 for what we'd be looking for in the Polestar. Yes, I think we could probably sacrifice one or two of the packages, but the way that they set up the packages, you almost have to get all of them to get all of the goodies.
You do.
You can't just get one package and be settled with it. Like one of the package offers a more premium sound system, a heat pump, the pixeled headlights, all that stuff, and it's like, now you have to get that. You
have to get both packages.
Yes.
Because we want, the thing is we want to have this car long term. So at least 5 years is our goal for this car. And it's like we want all these features. We don't want to skip on any. So it's like a lot of times, for the Polestar 2, we might have to sacrifice a package or two or even a paint color. So that way we can actually get this car if this is the one that we get.
Yeah. So that's just the only downside with the Polestar 2 is that it does creep into that Model Y price range depending on how you option it out, especially depending on the drivetrain as well. In terms of availability, there are a lot of Polestar 2s out there, XC40 recharges as well as C40 recharges now that they are manufacturing that vehicle. But it is readily available compared to what we're finding with the Model Y and the Mustang Mach-E. We would have to travel out of state to pick up our vehicle. The closest showroom is in Detroit, Michigan, Polestar Detroit. So we would have to travel out of state to pick it up. But we've had friends pick up their Polestars from Detroit, and they love the experience. So we'll see what happens. And then one pro also too when it comes to pricing is that the Polestar 2 is direct sale. So the vehicle does not come with markups if you purchase it directly through Polestar, which is really nice as well.
Yeah, that is nice. So unlike the XC40 or C40 from a Volvo dealership that might have a markup and are just as expensive as the Tesla Model Y, it's really nice that the Polestar 2 kind of follows the suit of Tesla where it's just direct sale, which is what we kind of prefer because we just like it to be in and out and done, with a dealership.
Yeah. Makes it a little bit easy, especially when you're car shopping.
Definitely.
But when it comes to all the vehicles on our list, where does the Polestar 2 fall for you?
That one's really hard. I really enjoyed our time with it in LA. It really was a really great car. And, it has the right storage options. It charges fast enough. It's not as quick as the Ioniq 5 or the EV6 or even Tesla on version 3 superchargers. The only thing is it's so expensive. I just feel like the price really creeps up because we want the Plus and Pilot packages. We would stick with the 19-inch wheels. We might get a paint color because I prefer not to have black cars. I'd like to have a colored car like Moon. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I feel like it's maybe in the middle of my list. I would say it's in the middle of my list.
Yeah, I would say so too. The other vehicles that we've driven offers the build quality that we would expect from a Volvo Polestar product, as well as the acceleration that the Polestar offers.
That was good.
Which was very good as well. I was very impressed with that. But, this is a direct competitor to a Model 3, Model Y, Mustang Mach-E, and every single vehicle that we're driving. And that's what makes this car shopping experience so difficult is because all these vehicles offer an immense amount of features and characteristics that we're looking for in our next car. But it's just going to make it harder and harder to choose which one. We might have to draw out of a hat. We're not going to do that.
Maybe we'll have our subscribers, we'll do a poll.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Have you guys pick our car for us.
Yes. And also join us on Patreon so we can purchase that vehicle that you're going to choose. I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, but for real, I think that would be pretty cool to kind of like get a guessing game together and see what you guys think that we're going to purchase. But yeah, I mean, overall, the Polestar 2 is very impressive. In terms of the research we've done, we've watched out of spec motors videos, we've watched Redline reviews. You know, we have friends that have the Polestar 2, and we've had experiences with the Polestar 2. So overall, we've done a lot of research on this vehicle, and I think if we were to move forward with purchasing it, we'd feel very comfortable with ownership.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, that's going to be it for this video. If you like this video, make sure you like and share with your friends. And as always, please consider subscribing to Everyday EV. And take care, stay safe, and
make every day electrifying.
And we'll see you in the next one.